Hey friends, what's up? Welcome to a new episode of Is It My Team or Do I Suck? Today we are looking at Lieutenant Oki. Lieutenant Oki is currently a Plat 5 player, so barely Plat, and he thinks he belongs into Diamond. And he has one of the longest and most detailed submissions I have ever seen. I fully believe that I had very little responsibility in us losing this game. Not only did I have more kills than the enemy DPS along with less deaths, I was 23-9. I was also contesting the enemy backline and either getting picks or distracting them long enough for the front line to crumble due to the lack of support. I will admit I did make mistakes and they cost me a few deaths, especially in the beginning. But I definitely picked up myself and started actually bringing value. My supports, however, were terrible to say the least. Moira ended up dying 10 times. I find it really funny that you're blaming your Moira for dying 10 times when you died 9 times as Tracer. Moira, how do you have 10 deaths? I only have 9, man! And Lifeware contributed nothing as far as utility is concerned and just heal botted. Well, I mean, that's kind of what Lifeware does. I'm not trying to defend your supports before I've seen them. I don't believe there's anything I could have done that would have given us even just a little bit more of a chance of winning. But I could be wrong. Sounds like you lost the game. Let's see what you have. If you engage head on, you almost always lose the fight no matter what you go up against. So what you really want to do in Tracer is you want to engage on the sidelines when they don't expect you, right? Or you want to engage when the enemy team is already looking at someone else. And I mentioned that because in the very first fight, you blink in first, so they can only shoot you, and you have to recall immediately. And recall is a really long cooldown. It's a thing you know, it's the thing you play around other than your blinks. And it's really important to not waste it early. Not bad tracking though, by the way. You have a life healer that can possibly heal you if you peek him, but you didn't even attempt to peek your team, right? So you commit with half HP, anything one-shots you, right? And you're literally getting one-shot. Discord, one-shot by the Echo, you die. Why do you engage like that? Yeah, and you're being an annoying mosquito. Yeah, Tracer, you kind of want to play like a mosquito, where you just like poke them and you suck them dry when they're not looking, basically. That sounded wrong, but I didn't mean it in any sexual way. Well, their D.Va got a really big bomb. It's not really much you can do there, but oh, the one clip came in. This is actually very solid aim, dude. I mean, so far, you know, people always think it's... Don't lose that 1v1 to the... Nice. That's a carry, man. Good job. I think if you play it always like this, you should probably win. So far, first fight you kind of f***ed up, but I mean, you're turning it around. And another actually amazing one clip. I'm actually, honestly, if you play like this for the entire game and you lose, you will be a winner. The first person I ever admit Elo Hell is real. Another great clip into the BAP, forced the lamp early. You can't really blame your team for dying there, because like you're diving in alone and your team is getting pressured by them, right? So he kind of took you out of the fight for the Baptiste, which can work out, but you didn't get a kill, right? So you can't really complain to your team dying. Nice pick. It is winnable. Good freeze by your Mei. Holy shit. Okay, that's a one fight. That's one fight. The enemy D.Va is
What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing?
Why is this guy just running up the stairs like a dumbass? Well, I don't know what his plan was. As long as you don't die here, the D.Va is still stuck. What are you? Okay. I mean, that was risky as f, to be honest. You were one. You could have made that way cleaner without using the pulse. Like, it's another kill, which is nice, but you already won the fight. Okay, got the forward check, capture point. You gotta keep in mind your life is still coming back because he was the only one dying. But yeah, like, you're engaging in the correct spots, but like here's where your weaknesses start to show. You go in, and they know you're there, right? And then you fall into the trap of like just sitting there for a second, not thinking, and shooting the tank when you have everything off cooldown. But the thing is, you did shoot the Hanzo. He knows you're there, right? At this point, everyone on that team should know you're there because they also see the bullets coming from the left. Like, you're so focused on your target and killing that you're not worrying about the number one thing you should worry about: staying alive. And if you disengage right here, or you blink back and make sure you're not getting killed by the Hanzo, this is great. Instead, you just sit there and you try to find the D.Va in melee range, which you would win in a 1v1, but it's not a 1v1, right? You're fighting 1v3, and the Hanzo is literally right behind you. And he's like, what is this dumbass doing? I mean, you died first there, or second, with all cooldowns up, right? That's what makes it so bad. You had 0 blinks used, and you had 0 recalls used. You still have the lead. And you need to be aware that there's a guy behind you. You heard him, actually. You should know that he's respawning, and you heard him, but you... And you may respawn instantly. You have more than enough time to chill out and wait for your team to contest. And you're going in, basically 1v5. When the card captures the forward capture point, it's at least 5 seconds where the bot does not move at all. Your DPS will also instantly respawn. Now it looks like it's far away, but in like 5 to 6 seconds, they still have to push the card to like, where is it? Here, right? That's another 7 seconds. So if you just chill out and you do nothing, right? And you just wait, or if you were aware, when your team gets a pick, you can spawn camp or you can cut them off. Look at how exposed this Hanzo is. He has no fucking clue. I mean, now that he definitely knows because you're attacking his team. But if you just chilled out here and waited like in this corner and wait to regroup, and then you can make the choice. Oh, maybe free kill on the Hanzo, which in a 1v1 in the open, you should probably win on Tracer. You blink in, you hit him a bunch, get him to half, he pops Storm Arrow. After he pops Storm Arrow, you recall and you kill him. Or you wait the Storm Arrow out and then you kill him. So you realize, you blink back. Great tracking again on the Moira, and that's the picks you should go for, right? The people that are not looking at you. Ooh, it was actually really, really close. I think he had lamp up anyways, so it didn't really matter. Great clip on the Hanzo, 1 HP. The only way you die is if you move in a straight line and run into him. He's completely confused, and then you actually walk kind of into his crosshair. You had a blink left, you could have blinked behind him. If you blink and you turn around your mouse 180, they have to react to you. You know what you're doing, so you will always be able to shoot first. And he's 1 HP, so all you have to do is hit 1 bullet, but... Great position here. Good awareness of where you can be without them killing you. You picked that was the absolutely correct spot. And then you... I know the health looks like it goes down fast, but that was not very fast. That was a long ass time. And if you want to carry on Tracer, man, she is a hard hero to master. But if you die with your recall of cooldown when you could have easily carried there, skill issue. Again, same thing, right? You start off the game engagement, very good tracking, force the lamp. Now you probably, like honestly, I would even back out here. Or blink it to an angle where they can't hit you, right? Like blink in here. Grab the Mecha. The Hanzo probably doesn't even know you're there. Maybe kill the Hanzo instead, right? Instead you stand in the open, and I think it's good to watch this from third perspective. You recall, right? And you stand in the open and you keep on standing in the open. And again, you get into a situation where you have a long as time to recall, but you don't, because you're so focused on your aim and killing them that you end up trading 1-for-1 again. And again, if you want to carry, that 1-for-1 trade is not worth. Because that means you're doing exactly nothing for your team, but also nothing against your team. You're just taking one person and yourself out of the equation. Back from the spawn! I like how you complained about your Moira dying 10 times, but you had like 5 deaths just now that were avoidable. And that tracking was questionable, and here you recall and you go in, and now you're out of every cooldown. You have no blinks, you have no recalls for 10. And you try to shoot the Pharah. And then you're like, whoops, guess I'm dead. People tend to remember like their best pop-offs, right? If I were you, I would probably still be hype about the first half of the game where you actually popped off. But you just had more fights that you lost for your team than won overall. So no matter how nice those fights were that you won, and I'm not saying your team is doing great, okay? Like they're definitely not carrying you either, right? You're doing pretty well still, but if you want to get out of the rank, this is not better than plat gameplay right now, because you are losing a lot of fights for your team as well, is what I'm saying. Good movement, and like, again, like if you take those 1v1s, you probably win all of them with the A. Waiting for them to engage, and there we go, almost a 1-clip again. If you would, like, if you want to advance, like, I think your aim is already great, but like, you could have tried to blink me. There. Not the best balls, but you carried that fight again.
Man, shut your bitch.
Yeah, well, there goes another one for fights thrown. Why did you die here? Because you weren't patient enough. And because your movement was bad. You wait for them to engage. And then when they turn around, you react. And you had time to react and you blink. I think in the beginning, other than the very first fight, you actually popped off and you carried like 3 fights in a row. And then you fed for the rest of the game. It was like either a hard carry or a hard feed, nothing in between. You should work on being more solid, just having more awareness, reacting faster, playing safer. If you're in that range of like lower than 100 HP, you can die to basically anything. And then you want to recall, right? And re-engage. Instead of being so bloodthirsty. Your mechanics are great. I think you could introduce some more blink melees. My phone is ringing. Stop sending me porn. You could work some more on your blink melees. Otherwise, I think your mechanics are not your issue. And I think your mechanics could easily be in diamond. That being said, I don't think you right now could easily be diamond. I think you're a plat player. Work on playing safer. And you will easily climb. Lena Oxton. Who the fuck is Lena Oxton? If this turns out to be a actor, I'm gonna uninstall. It's Tracer, thank God. Currently unranked on this account, but my main account was a peak of Silver 3. Right now it's Bronze 4, so you dropped all the way to the sewers. You think you deserve Plat 5 / Gold 1? Okay, that's a pretty big climb from Bronze 4. This was a Gold 5 match. I think I belong in high Gold / low Plat because I have very decent aim, better than most people in Bronze, and I have better game sense and positioning. I know what the high ground is, and I don't just shoot the tank the entire time. I carried this game pretty hard to the point that they had to swap Torb for my Tracer. I was 19-4 and my teammates were 16-8 on average. I was pulling a lot of cooldowns out of the backline and even killed the Pharah. Overall, I think this game shows my true skill and that I should be higher on than you. What the hell am I watching? Recall. Recall. Okay, I mean, this is the very safe play. I think you could have easily recalled there. If you recall right here, you can keep the pressure up, right? The Junkrat is already half, and the Moira is in trouble, and the enemy team is down. So any kill you get now is a big stagger and basically guarantees you another fight win, if you think about it, right? So it was definitely worth recalling there, I think. And then you can still blink out. But the thing you have to understand on Tracer is you have to engage and keep on shooting them as long as they're not shooting you, while staying safe. But right now, you see how they're really ignoring you and not doing anything to you.
Don't care.
This is where you need to pop off and you need to get the kills. There's 2 scenarios on Tracer. Scenario number 1 is you force out cooldowns and force them to turn back to you. And then you blink out, play safe, and you got value. Or scenario number 2 is they ignore you. And that is where you have to pop off and you have to kill them. And this was scenario number 2. Where you're not really doing enough. And your team is actually kind of lifting you here with the ults. But they're still not looking at you. You can stay at this exact same angle. Instead of like you just blinked into his line of sight and made him shoot you and then you blinked into the wall, right? You need to get that kill. And your blink melee so far are a big whiff. And here you just blinked into the wrong direction. If you blink backwards, you're around the corner, right? Or you're here. And there's a very low chance I will kill you. By the time the Moira shifts to you, you have another blink, you're out, you're on the medkit, right? And the Junkrat can't get up to you, and the Zarya obviously doesn't have the speed or the range. And another off angle. I like that you're looking for them. There's a Kiri probably saw you, but let's be honest, this is gold. She's probably not gonna realize because she's blind as fuck. Or she doesn't tell her team. And here I would probably... Yeah. So, unless you have insane aim and she moves like a bot and doesn't react, you will not one-clip the Kiri. Junkrat, however, you have a very good chance of one-clip or at least 2-clip. Instead, you focus on the Kiri and then you walk melee range into the Junk. Like, he literally cannot miss. This is like the easiest shot of his life. I'm not saying Junkrat aim is hard, but like you're literally walking into him. He just like threw it into your general direction, but because you're already melee range, he literally can't miss. Lena Oxton. That is what we call a feed. Hope your team doesn't stagger. If they do, that sucks. It's not really much you can do, but you can definitely look for the pick-off. Okay. Go for the Junk. He saw you. Blink. Okay, you blinked in the wrong direction, in my opinion, again. If you blink away from him, not only are you leaving your most effective range, you're also not making it hard for him to hit you. All he sees is you are a bit more back, so he can still shoot you. He doesn't have to react. He doesn't have to turn around. Whereas if you blink behind him, or like 45 degrees to the left, he has to turn around, realize where you are, and you're in the effective range where you can put another clip in him, and he can't really do much to you. And, you know, if that doesn't work, you have another blink, but you move outside of the effective range, right? So you're not getting enough value. And then you go really safe again, which, yes, you want to live, and yeah, you want to wait for your recall to come back up. Okay, you re-engage. You almost didn't react there. You got the kill. and you live. Now you have to wait, you know, your Ana has to heal other people, and you have to wait. I would definitely spam I need healing here, because the Ana should have healed you by now. But now you go in with low HP, and you are in one-shot range to a Kiri. You are in one-shot range to a Kiri. I guess you just really want to be the cutest person on the server, and that's why you're going for the Kiri. What I'm saying is your effective uptime in those fights is just very low. I feel like a Tracer with a bit more experience would just stay in the fights for longer, because they would use their cooldowns more properly. And even if you don't get more kills, right, or assists, what are you doing? Are you AFK? Soldier swap, it's time! But yeah, as I was saying, you are staying safe by not engaging in the fight, you know, you're like a pacifist. I always say this, when you know, if I stayed in spawn the entire game, then and pick Widowmaker, I'll probably get a few kills and 0 deaths, right? But did I do anything? No, I failed. I AFK. What are you doing? Move forward. Gotta move up. They're down right now. You wanna go for... That's the actual incorrect angle for Soldier. You wanna take wide angles so the enemy can't hit you. What the enemy doesn't is range. The only range those characters are scary in is close ranges and tight corridors. And you're actually walking into a close range tight corridor against those characters. And then you realize, I can't do that. Right? So you don't peek out, but you're doing nothing again, right? Like, you know you would die there if you pushed out, but you shouldn't have been there in the first place. Let's see it. This is actually a good play, I think. If you waited a bit longer. Great choice of going for the off angle. You determined in your big brain that the fight is going to start around here, right? Which means they have to walk towards the cart. But what you're doing wrong is you're showing your cards too early. They don't know you're here. They still don't know you're here. They still don't know you're here. Very carefully, aim a Helix rocket. You can even peek out more. If you realize the Torp is not looking at you, you can even walk out a bit more and then maybe see the Kiri. And then you visor. You shoot the Helix first and you start the visor. Or you do the animation cancel, shoot the Helix, drop the healing pad and visor right away. So you have the healing pad down before the visor starts. So you can stay inside your healing pad while having no downtime. By going too early, peeking too wide, and they can hear your ult sound, right? And you don't use either your rocket or your healing pad. You have to drop your healing pad now, which means you can't shoot during that. And you can't move during the animation where you put it down. You have to hit the Helix, which is now harder to do, because if they turn around for you, they will try to dodge the Helix. And the funny thing is you didn't even cast the Helix. You just don't do it. You just run in like Rambo. I think Silver is probably more your rank. If you play enough games, you will get out of Bronze, and I think you can easily hold Silver. You're still lacking very basic skills in the game. Not mechanics-wise. I think your mechanics are great. I think you mentioned you think your aim is good, and I agree. Definitely better than Silver. You played way too safe on Tracer, right? Like, Tracer is not an easy hero. You will need some time to get used to the hero. But like with practice, you can become a good Tracer. But even on Soldier, when you swap there, which was the correct swap, you understand the game to an extent, but then you make very basic mistakes. Like not taking cover, or going for the wrong angles, or going too early. Not your team.
You suck.
Get better. Until next time. See you guys. Bye-bye.